afternoon. My name is Krempa, and I'm going to tell you what we've done in Libvirt in the last year. So, in the last year, it was actually 1 year and 2 months since the last KVM forum, since the last one was in Toronto. We had 13 releases, since we do a monthly release cycle. We had 120 authors, 61 of which were new. That's on par what we had on the last KVM forum. That was 63. We had 3,694 commits. It's until the last release that was 3.8. We changed 4,000 something files and added 378,000 lines. And we spent almost 19,000 mails in the mailing list. Commits per release is usually around 200 to 300. The two peaks you can see are version 3.0 was a longer release cycle, and version 3.2 was being merged into one of the enterprise distros. So there was some push going on because of that. So the most popular hypervisors, as usual, the most popular hypervisor is QEMU, along with common changes to the code, followed by this year libxl and the Virtuoso driver. Last year, the Virtuoso driver was on the second place. This year, the top author is John Ferland with 527 commits. Followed by an almost tie with me and Michal. So, and one interesting fact is that the top 3 authors take up almost 40% of all commits. So, the top motivators to do upstream work for Libvirt this year, as usual, was Red Hat, the biggest motivator, with almost 82% of all contributors, closely followed by individual contributors, and then IBM that this year passed Virtuoso because of their push of S390 and PowerPC systems, and also probably the Virtuoso driver stabilized over the time. So, what did we do? As Jirka told us last year, we tried to make people not infer stuff from our version numbers. That means that the version numbers are based on the time of the release. We also added a news file, which is helpful for inferring new features that happened in Libvirt. And also, we tried to implement the review tags, but some people try to ignore it for some time now. So the most notable features we had last year was events for all the Libvirt objects we have. Most objects are now have now lifecycle events. We added CPU hot plug and hot unplug for Intel and PowerPC in the QEMU driver. Virtuoso and Veritas added their storage driver support. We added TLS support for migration and character devices. We now guarantee a stable guest CPU ABI by querying QEMU for all the CPU features that are present. We now support user-provided aliases for devices so that management layer can put some metadata or connect the metadata to the devices they want to use. We now have mediated devices support and VIOMMU. We support sparse streams, which allow you to transfer sparse files effectively. We support NVDIM emulation and pass-through, direct rendering manager pass-through, and we improved scalability and footprint by increasing limits in the RPC protocol and splitting off storage driver backends as required by the installation. Other notable improvements were in the section of CI of the Libvirt project. We added, obviously, workers for the newest upstream distributions or long-term stable distributions. We now test most of the projects hosted under the Libvirt domain, and most of the configurations supported by them. And also, Andrea started learning about Ansible, so he created a set of Ansible playbooks and scripts to help deploy the workers for builds, and also to allow developers to create environments to test their code with Libvirt and to automate this. Maybe there are some ideas for future. For example, running CI code on all the patches posted to the list, as QEMU is doing, and perhaps doing some actual functional testing, since the Virt test project died some time ago and we don't do that yet properly. We had some community internships. This year we participated only in the Google Summer of Code project. We had 3 interns, but only one of them was successful into delivering their finished product. Radostin created the tool called Virt Bootstrap. That is a tool that allows you to use Docker and Virt Builder images or sources to create image for Libvirt LXC. If you don't want to run your containers in Docker, you can run them in Libvirt LXC. And it's also integrated in Virt Manager, so it should be automagic. So, and how about future of Libvirt? What is going to happen during the upcoming year? We, or more concretely, I plan to add support for block dev add and TLS authentication and LUKS for the whole backing chain of disks, and do proper external snapshots, which is a big undertaking, so I hope I will be able to do that. Then the plan is to integrate or allow integration of Libvirt and managing of the Libvirt VMs on using managing Libvirt VMs using Cockpit. This requires to do dbus bindings for Libvirt, which is basically a daemon going back and forth through with dbus and to Libvirt, because Cockpit is using dbus extensively, and also improve the Virt XML project, which is currently part of Virt Manager, to allow other users building the XMLs in a predictable and easy way, because as you can see in our documentation, building Libvirt XMLs is not an easy job. So, and the plan is also to do mediated devices instantiation using the Node devices driver, so that you can create your virtual GPUs and stuff. And also add VSOC support and VSOC NFS, so that you can easily share your host directories to your guests, which is currently not that easy. And maybe finally finish the bash completion support for Versh. So, thank you, that's it.